And former President Trump's announcement will have major implications for other Republicans, particularly in Congress.
For more insight tonight, we're joined by political analyst Brian Sobel. And Brian, I'll get right at it. His decision to run again, driven by what?
To me, it is a huge ego. I think there's a part of Donald Trump that thinks he's the country's savior, and that he ran a great country for 4 years. I think that's his driving motivation. Mm-hmm. But I think at the end of the day, also, he feels he's the one person in the United States that can lead this country.
Okay, so Brian, now that it's become official, he's an official candidate, what are some of the immediate implications that will affect what Mr. Trump can do and can't do moving forward?
Well, first, Julie, there's going to be the issue of who else may be in the race. And that may be Ron DeSantis of Florida, perhaps Nikki Haley, any of these other Republicans who are making moves and starting to talk about whether they would also like to be president. But you heard the speech, which is still going on here 34 minutes after it started, where he is, that is, Donald Trump is listing all the reasons why he should be president and mainly all the things that he did. He did, not necessarily the Republican Party, not necessarily the country, but what he did. And that is going to be the job of these candidates running against him, is to call him, isolate him, and call him out for what they think he is.
Brian, you mentioned Ron DeSantis. You know, here's a man who just won his second term as governor in Donald Trump's home state there in Florida, and it wasn't even close. I mean, it was by more than 20 points. So because of the announcement tonight, do you see a Ron DeSantis jumping in even earlier, or does he wait maybe a little bit longer?
I don't think he has a need to jump in quite yet. He did a spectacular job through the election there in Florida, as you point out, Mike. He won Florida, so overwhelmingly. But in addition, he proved himself during the recent hurricanes. He is the real deal. He's very, very popular, and it's going to be a matter of whether he can galvanize the Republican Party around his candidacy. But I don't know that he feels a need to rush out now in the next few weeks and announce to counter anything Donald Trump is doing. Donald Trump is a known entity, and people either like him or they don't like him. And so I don't think that forces DeSantis to do anything right away.
What about other candidates, Brian? How do you think Donald Trump's announcement today could potentially affect the decisions of others in the GOP who might be thinking about entering the race for the White House?
Julie, this time around, I think there's going to be a healthy competition. Donald Trump, even as we listen to him, is very vulnerable. While he's bragging about all the candidates that he backed who won in the midterms, that basically said those people didn't run their own campaigns. I was the one behind all their campaigns. Well, he had a mixed record. And I think it showed his vulnerabilities that the American people and Donald Trump backers have been seen for the last couple of years at the very least. He's got legal troubles. He's got political troubles. And this is a curious decision, but not surprising, given Donald Trump's ego.
I mean, you talk about the legal troubles. There's somewhat of a long list, half a dozen or so. What does this announcement mean, or how does it complicate the work, I guess, for the Justice Department and all the prosecutors working on those cases right now? Do they have to speed up their cases?
Oh, it's an excellent question, and probably better left to attorneys and other people who watch this stuff. But from a political point of view, his running for president allows him to really deflect a lot of these issues, the various lawsuits against him, the January 6th riots. Everything is shunted aside in favor of Donald Trump talking about how he's going to make America great again.
Brian, what do you think about the overall impact to the GOP? Some say that Mr. Trump's decision to run again will only further divide the party.
It will divide the party in the sense that you're either with Trump or you're not with Trump if you're a Republican. But as I said a week or so ago, I think the shine has worn off the Trump apple. I really do. And I think he's got a base core support of people that really believe in him and believe in the things he believes in. But I think there's a great number of people who may have voted for him before and may have even supported those things that he talked about, but really became very discontented with the performance of Donald Trump and this whole cult of Donald Trump. It's all about Donald Trump when it's Donald Trump. And you kind of say at the end of the day, you know, how can you say goodbye to this guy if he never goes away?
That's right. All right. Well, we just learned tonight he is jumping in full force. Brian Sobel,
Absolutely.
as always, thanks for your perspective tonight and your time. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Still to come.